This is Julia. Julia is called a golden eagle. She is called a golden eagle because of the feathers on top of and behind her head, which are called hackles, and they do indeed glow gold and copper colored in the sun. It is like this beautiful shimmer. Starts there, ends there. Julia gets upset. She takes these hackles, she sticks them straight up into the air, just like that. And if you've ever heard the expression, don't get your hackles up, it started approximately 400 years ago in England during Shakespeare's time. What did people do in Shakespeare in England? They flew hawks, they flew falcons, and if you read Shakespeare's plays, he mentions expressions from falconry in almost every single one that he has written, especially The Taming of the Shrew. Don't get your hackles up, don't show your anger the way your hawk or your falcon would. Notice how close I can get to her. And I don't have to worry about Julia taking a bite out of my nose. She has bonded to me over the past 5 years that I've been working with her. And when I say bond, I use that word very loosely. Birds of prey aren't your pets. They're not affectionate by nature. They don't love you, yet they become used to, comfortable with, and very secure in the presence of their handlers. They are quite wary of people that they're not used to seeing regularly. I call this a bond, and I keep it going for a number of reasons, not the least of which, Julia might live to be 40 years old. She is 15. She could outlive me, the time that we have together. I don't want her ever to be fearful of me, because in fear, she might strike out with those feet. And I told you earlier, a 3-pound red-tailed hawk puts her foot in your arm, you can't get it out. 14-pound golden eagle puts her foot right through your arm. No problem at all. Her back talon gets to be 2.5 inches long, twice the length of a bald eagle's back talon. She can grip it over 1,000 pounds per square inch. So, collectively, what does all this stuff mean? It means this afternoon, Julia could reach out, grab your hand, squeeze, put 4 holes right through your hand, keep squeezing, and crush some bones inside. All from a 14-pound bird? So picture this. When Julia was flying free in the wild, she could dive through the air at least 150 miles an hour, probably faster than that. Have you ever stood near an interstate highway and watched a car go zooming by 20 feet away? Triple it. Picture a golden eagle with a 7-foot wingspan zooming past you 3 times faster than that car is passing on the highway. She's after a jackrabbit in the desert. She breaks it the rabbit. Now she's only flying at 90 miles an hour. Fine. Let's get slammed with a 14-pound feathered flying brick with 8 sharp knives attached at 90 miles an hour. And at the moment she makes impact, she squeezed it 1,000 pounds per square inch, and now you have some idea of the absolute destructive power of this particular bird, because this afternoon you are quite fortunate to be looking at the most powerful bird in the United States and one of the most powerful eagles in the entire world. Laplanders years ago used to carry trained golden eagles with them when they were herding their reindeer. If wolves came to attack the reindeer, they'd release the golds, and the golds were trained to fly the wolves, grab the wolves by the head, pin the wolves to the ground, occasionally killing the wolf before the Laplander even arrived. By inserting that back talon through the base of the wolf's skull, tells you 2 things about golden eagles. 1, they can put a wolf on the ground. 2, they have the attitude to believe they're going to pull it off. They've learned to fear no animal on the face of the earth, really, except for one. Us, we have been their only true natural enemy. Nothing is going to try to prey upon a healthy adult golden eagle. Julia came to us from Cody, Wyoming. She was hit by a car. She broke her left leg, which healed perfectly, but a massive head injury blinded her in her right eye. So notice the beautiful amber color of her left eye, which is now facing you. When I turn her around and walk the other way, notice her right eye is darker, and notice that the orbit is lower. Also notice that Julia is feathered all the way down to the tops of her toes, because most birds are feathered to the ankle, which is up here. She's feathered all the way down. She's called a booted eagle for that reason, and she shares that characteristic with 30 of the 59 species of eagles that exist in the world today. About half of them are booted eagles. Goldens live worldwide in the northern hemisphere. They live in Asia, Europe, North Africa, and North America. They do not breed in the eastern half of the United States. They breed west of us, and they breed north of us across Canada. So goldens are seldom found in New Jersey, but they're found here seasonally, because every fall, the Canada goldens fly south. And they pass over the migration ridge routes where we are, usually around the first week of November. I saw one come through 2 weeks ago. But if you want to see golden eagles hit the migration ridge route, during the month of November. Then they might overwinter in New Jersey for a while, but by mid-March they've all gone north again. So we have this tiny limited window of opportunity to see them locally. For that reason, we don't get them often, but over the years we've gotten some. A number of years back, we got a golden eagle found starving to death in a baseball field in Bayonne, New Jersey. First year bird, first migration flight, first week in November, right on schedule, came in emaciated, weighing only 6 pounds, was eventually released at over 12 pounds. 6 years ago, we got a golden eagle dying of lead poisoning in the southern Adirondacks. We had to chelate the lead out of her. Once that was done, she started to recover. The lead poisoning wasn't so bad that it killed her, thank goodness for that. She started to recover. Then I had to free fly her to rebuild up all of her flight muscles so she was strong and fit enough for release once she was. Together with the New York DEC, we attached a transmitter to her, which beamed to a satellite, back to a website, threw up a map, plotted a point online where she was. We watched that point go over 900 miles up into Labrador, Canada. You seldom get that kind of feedback. That was almost equal for us. When I was flying that particular bird after one of her flights, I bent down to pick her up in the field where she had landed. And as I reached to grab her just as I must have squeezed her, because in an instant she shot her foot out and her foot landed right inside my mouth. And she put her front foretalon right through my tongue and hammered it down to my jaw on my right side. Her back talon's this big, it's resting right here, and I'm waiting for her to squeeze again. Had she done so, she would have easily shoved her back talon through my neck, into my mouth, underneath my tongue the other way, and I'm not embarrassed to tell you, it was absolutely terrifying. And I've never been frightened before working with birds of prey. Up until that moment, I had no idea what I was going to do if she just squeezed again. What I did do, I approached the back talon with my index finger, hoping that when I touched that talon, she wouldn't squeeze down. Rather, maybe she would have let me to move it off to the side. Never expecting for an instant that that would happen. But for whatever reason, on that particular day, that eagle let me move that talon out of harm's way. Once it was, I approached the front foretalon, and as soon as I touched that talon, rather than squeeze down as I expected, she actually let go. So under the circumstances, I got off real easy. I checked myself out afterwards. I had a hole in the top side of my tongue, a hole on the bottom side of my tongue, a hole underneath my tongue, through the salivary glands, below the teeth on my jaw on this side. It was the dumbest thing I have ever done, working with birds of prey still to this day. Quite grateful for the experience because it makes for a pretty excellent story at the end of a program. It is absolutely true.